Great Falls High's football tradition is a storied one in Montana history. 30 state championship appearances over the years and, of course, dozens of all-state and Hall of Fame type careers. But perhaps none of those are better than the number 4 running back on the MT Top 40, former Mighty Bison and Washington State standout, Kerry Porter.
When I started coaching for Mike Kramer, I did it in 1981 at Helena High, and I'd heard the name Kerry Porter and everything when playing up here, and so then we had to play him that one year I was at Helena High, and they came down to Helena. You know, when he walked on the field, I thought, he's a big dude. I mean, he is a man amongst men.
Kerry Porter caught the attention of every opposing coach during his run with Great Falls High in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Big, strong, fast, and smart, Porter frustrated those opposing teams in multiple ways.
Well, when I think back about the whole thing, two things when you evaluate a running back is power and speed. Those are the two things right away that come to mind with me. And he was big as a sophomore, like 6'2", 175. Then he got up to 90 or 85 in there. And he could run the ball. He was powerful in between the tackles. But he also was really a good trackster, 100 and 200 and 400. And he could hit it up inside and keep you honest, but he could also break you around and go around the corner. He had two features right there, but probably his third and best feature, he knew when to cut it back. And when he cut it back, no one ever caught him from behind. So he had some great tools.
Size, he had good speed. From what I remember from him, he had very good vision. He could see the whole, he could see things develop. He was just a good all-around athlete. You know, he could do a lot of things. A kid that big in high school, he could have played multiple positions for Great Falls High. Maybe the same thing in college, but he had good speed, good vision, pretty good quicks for a big kid. I think I just remember him most is when he was running the ball, he could see that space and plant and go. And then again, when you got a 160-pound DB coming up to tackle him, that 160-pound DB better have some guts. So, good player though, very good player.
Porter worked his way in the Great Falls High record books, clocking a 10.3 100-yard dash. That was a Bison freshman record before running 10.81 in the 100-meter dash in the 1982 state meet. An all-state football player with the Mighty Bison, his sophomore and junior campaigns wowed college coaches. And despite a lower leg injury that kept him from nearly half his senior season, he would continue his career at Washington State. As a matter of fact, Porter enjoyed an All-American career in Pullman, earning 10 games of more than 100 yards rushing. That included 7 such games in 1983 alone. It was a 1,000-yard season, one of only 12 in the program's history. His 560 career carries rank 4th in WSU history, while his 2,618 career rushing yards are 6th best and 19 touchdowns 5th best. A 1983 first team and 1986 second team all-conference selection, Porter was named second team Sporting News All-American as a senior, rushing 205 times for 921 yards and 4 scores.
He was a hard worker, and he always set the work mode at the highest level. Even after two-a-days, he would still come in and get his session in the weight room. In the summer, he would go to the morning session. Our young kids would come in. He'd be there and get a couple lifts. But he just set such a good example for them. I think that's the biggest thing when I look at him. And he was a great student.
A 7th-round pick of the Buffalo Bills in the 1987 NFL Draft, Porter would make his living on special teams, having stints in Buffalo, LA, and Denver.
It really does. And I think with the population of the state and the number of kids that we've had that played at that level is a credit to the coaches in Montana and the people in Montana. And it's just, he can go play in something like that, and you know, it was specialty teams he was played on. That's tough duty when you're going down there to break up a wedge or two or things like that. So I think you got to look at that part of the thing too. He did what he had to do to survive, and that's the bottom line.
He was a stud. You know, he went on to a great career after he's done in high school at Washington State and so forth. The physical presence of that man was the biggest thing when I first saw him, and I thought, that guy's bigger than what the scouting report says he is. I mean, he was a good one, really good one. He is one of the better ones I know this school's ever produced, by far.
Kerry Porter, the multi-threat Great Falls High turned Washington State All-American, the #4 running back in Montana history. Read more about him at montanasports.com. Stay with us through the rest of the week. We count him down to the #1 running back in Treasure State history. Richie Melby, MTN Sports.